Most people look at Daddy and said, but this man was a bald-head. Sure, the emperor was a bald-head man too. So the original Rasta man was not a locks man. He was a man of vision, a man with knowledge, and he came to do the Father's work. The brethren, of course, did not comb their hair, just like you, brother. They have their hair long, but they didn't locks it, and they would have their long beard that they would take care of it. But they would always look so nice and groomed. You'd never see any Rasta man coming out of Pinnacle that don't have him like a jacket on, or don't look good and don't smell good. It's one thing them used to say, boy, you see them man from Pinnacle, them going like them extra, and them a worship man for God.
Okay.
No, it's true. So what you find is that Daddy actually put work in progress, and he actually confirmed the words of His Majesty. He centralized, he unionized, and he organized black people to look towards Africa for repatriation. Pinnacle was a springboard to get to Africa. They had even got what you call a little passport size with a picture in it, you know, because they had anticipated going back to Africa, because the emperor had provided them a place to stay. And since Daddy was in such close communication with the emperor, is now how many of us are going to take that leap? Before that came into materializing, Jamaican government got very, very scared, because they could not understand how a black man could have so many people in one place admiring him. Daddy was the kind of man that if there was something to be done, he wouldn't have to even ask anyone. They would do it without an obligation. That was the impact. And another thing that really I saw in my dad was that kindness, that acts of kindness that he's always doing to people. He would always go overboard. Well, I'm not saying overboard, but I guess that was in his nature. And I didn't like him for it lots of times, because I get to be put on the back burner too many times for other people when they come to the house with their problem, and I didn't like him for it. Okay. Especially when it comes to the money, when I have to go take care of myself and him have to give, you know, someone come and give him a story. He would always giving and giving, and he would really help, genuinely help people. He was a man that would go out on the street and would just give out money. Sometimes he'd go up and just throw money up in the air, and people just run and come just to pick up money like that. And those of you who might be listening, your mother or your father might tell you they have seen Howell down at King Street giving out money to beggars and pauper and people who were suffering and hungry. That was the kind of person. But coming back to Pinnacle, Pinnacle is what you call a national heritage site. Pinnacle represents the first self-sufficient, economically empowered community in Jamaica. And when I say that, I mean that Pinnacle, the brethren and sisters that were in Pinnacle, most of them were farmers. They used to plant yam, peas, they used to have banana, cassava, you name it, they would plant it. So because they had this big land, nobody sit down in Pinnacle and don't work, you know, sister. Every day at 6 o'clock and 5 o'clock, the sistren would get up and fix their husband's food, because every man had a woman in Pinnacle. If you didn't have a woman, you find one, because it was not customary for you to live without a woman. And that was the way it was set, because a man is made for a woman and a woman made for a man. Yes. So when I see some of these Rasta man living without a woman, it marvels me. I wonder how they manage. Who take care of them? What happen to when them sick? When them want a little water to drink? What if them want a cup of tea? Who take care of them and who provide for them? I don't understand it. So somebody please tell me. Can you tell me, brother?
No, me myself, no, I'm not fortunate enough to tell you. They will tell you a lot of different reasons. But
well, I'm telling you this. Brothers and sisters in Pinnacle would farm the land, let's say everybody was living independent, but they were dependent in a way, and I will explain that. You have your house and you have a piece of land because Daddy gave everybody land. It was there. It was it was mandatory that everyone has land for themselves, and that land they had to utilize. We had doctors and lawyers and nurses and people up there who used to practice out, but the majority of people up there were farmers, and those who weren't farmers did so many different things. Their brothers up there that could burn coal. Some of them would make all slippers from rubber tires, go and sell. Some of them would do craft work. You know, their brothers up there were so talented. Brothers who were electrician, carpenter, and brothers who were builders. Like my grandfather, he was a builder because he was trained as a builder and a mason. And the most important thing is that when a man have his farm on a Tuesday, each man would know that he had a day of the week. So let's say Mr. Brown down there, who they break themselves up in groups, right? Tuesday was their day. Everybody go down. Can you imagine a massive number of people coming on your farm and helping you to sow some seeds? Wednesday was Mr. Davis over there. A massive amount of man come down there. Then the woman them now would cook the lunch and bring it down there for the man them to eat. So therefore them would have to, you know, spend too much time. So they would eat and eat lunch and go back and help each other. So what you'd find is that Pinnacle had surplus of food.
Yes.
So the people in Pinnacle would go down to Spanish Town and sell the food. The same government would buy the food them from Pinnacle to feed the prisoners them in Jamaica, and some of them would use the food from Pinnacle to export to the United States. So Pinnacle was doing formal and informal. They were feeding the nation of Jamaica. Okay?
Yes.
And that is what's so significant about Pinnacle. Pinnacle became such a big icon that the colonial government became so scared of my father. There were two parties in Jamaica, as you know, the Jamaican PAP and JLP. They wanted to get my father involved into politics because they said, boy, Howell up at Pinnacle, you know. Can you imagine how much vote you'd get from all them 5,000 or more people to the back us and let us win the election? So Manley and Buster was having a toss-up with my dad. Who is it that he was going to? So Daddy said to them one day, listen man, Rasta man not believe in politics, you know.
Okay.
Rasta man, right now we are looking for God Africa. You know, Daddy, this is the word, right? We are here, but what? We born here, but what we're not from here, you know? So we are just here in the body, but in the spirit, you know, we're looking to go home. Because home is where we belong. That was not a good thing for Daddy to say. And among other things that Daddy had said, that was not a good thing. Because I tell you, brother, they have taken my father to prison. They have taken my father to the madhouse. And I cannot think of any human being that has gone to the madhouse or the prison over 50 times. But my father did it. I recall one day, when they sent Daddy to the madhouse, Daddy says, Catherine, the way I maintain my sanity, and Daddy was a man that speak with a voice, and he always says to me, Catherine, you should speak with a voice. And he looked at me and he said, the way I maintain my sanity was take my spiritual self out of the physical and venture into that sanctuary of my father. So when they're looking at my physical, it was just my physical that they were touching, but they just could not touch the spiritual side of me.
Yes. Yes.
So when they say Howell is mad, and when him used to call the queen, you know what? And when he used to look on white man and call them, you know what? And when he used to look at the Pope and call him, you know what? And when he used to do certain things and say, you know what? And do you know what? They said, wait a minute, a madman this. Let's go take him to Bellevue. You know? I remember there's a time when he was telling us a story, and this was a brother else that was telling us that to show the colonial government how powerful he is as a spiritual man, he went up and take his pen, because he always wear these three-piece suit, I don't care how the sun is hot. Daddy, you don't never see my old man out of a suit. Or if you see him have a little, waistcoat on and things. And that's why I don't understand when I see our royal family, because I know that Rasta is of royal heritage. And I call them my royal family because indeed we are royal. And we should look royal. We should think royal. We should act royal. And do the things that royal people do. And Daddy said he went and he took his pen and he cut the the light post,
yes.
and cut the electric. All these white men stand up and look for him, and he take his pen and cut it and hold on to the two-piece of wire and show them that if he's gonna die, he's gonna die now, because the Father lives in him and he is in the Father. And if now is the time that they think that he is just an average man, now here it is to prove it. And then he took the wire them and put them together and climbed down the post. Guess what? The next day they come and take him to Bellevue and say he's mad.
But then, Sister Catherine, you see, here we have to ask ourselves this question really. The terminology for the word madness. What does the word madness really mean when they say a person is mad? Because the word mad really, if you really look at the word itself, it literally means something that is beyond the comprehension of, the people outside at large.
But there is two sides of life, it's always positive and negative.
Yes.
We think that we are so sane, but the insanity is in each and every one of us. And even in the people that we are say is insane. There is insanity and insane. Everybody has some sort of insanity in them. Because you don't know what you're going to do from here to there. If somebody probably come right now and harm your family, suddenly you're going to flip and do certain things. That's a madman. But my father had probably a different kind of madness. And he had a spiritual mysticism that they couldn't understand.
The European defined that madness.
Yes.
And just feed it to the rest of the population.
Yes.
They have no other means of even going and cipher out what them are said. Because over that you have the overseer who keep them in check.
Yes.
The people who supporting your father, you have some overseer over them. So everything have to keep in check. So the only thing they can dish out is madness.
Yes.
Well, can you imagine today, day and age, according to the Bible, John the Baptist would be classified as a madman.
But of course,
Jesus
brother.
would be classified as a madman.
Of course, brother.
Moses would be classified as a madman.
Talk that talk you listening here. It's true.
Yes.
It's true. And that madman had changed the entire life of Jamaica. That madman had contributed so much to Jamaica economy. That madman had built Jamaica, because in truth and in fact, what has happened even today, that madman has become, as far as I'm concerned, is my hero.
Yes.
Yes. And many other brothers and sisters out here will look at Howell and know that he should have gotten the praise and the honor due to him years and years ago. Still and yet, they kept everything under the carpet. They kept it silently under the carpet because what? Once again, they keep us ignorant so we don't know who we are. And this is really important. Right now, Pinnacle is in a very serious position. And I just would like to kind of point out some very important factor. Why is it that Pinnacle is so important? Pinnacle represents so much to Jamaicans and to the Rasta community at large. Because as I mentioned to you before, that Pinnacle was the first free slave, self-empowered. We grow our own food and we sell it to the people. So everybody in Pinnacle had money.